Welcome to Relay.
Hello. Welcome to the Relay Station. Everything should be working, I hope. If not, I apologize. So, let's begin. Often on the weekend, I'll jump in my chair. I'll grab a beer or 2 or 3 or 4, it's fair. And if somebody asks me what I'm going to declare, I'll say it's time for Relay Station, so just buckle in. We've got Triangularity, he's from Norway. He came on with no notice, so really thanks, mate. Shiver's pretty bitter and Nehkara's pretty great, but that Erris guy, he's just a dick, or so it's said. Let's go. Welcome to the Relay Station.
Does that really happen?
You see what we have to deal with every week?
Hey, at some point, someone should probably tell me to stop trying to do intros, and then I'll stop having to try and do shit like this because I've run out of things to do in intros.
You're the only creativity we have.
I'm sure someone offers each week to assist you with your intro.
Well, you're busy already there, David.
Thank you, Shadden Turk.
Thanks, Shadden Turk. Someone that's not part of Relay. Sunjammer. Thanks, Miles. Look, see, there's a thing in the center of the screen that's like, hey, someone did a thing. Also, I really need to fix the sizing of these things so I can go further back. And anyway, I'll play more around with this later, but yeah.
Carbide Edge apparently is quite concerned. I don't blame him.
See, some people are saying don't do intros, but only one person put their mouth where their money is and told me to keep doing intros by subscribing. So sorry, everyone. Gonna keep doing intros. Hey, Triangularity. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So
it's a pleasure to have you. It's been a while since we've had you on, I believe. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Life goes on, so glad to be soon into the February month. So soon for the quarter release number 1.
Yep. So let's. Well, you know what? First, how's your week been, everyone? Everyone.
Am I everyone?
You are all everyone. I was hoping that you'd all answer me at the same time. It'd be complete unintelligible gibberish, and then we could just move on.
I don't know. Our weeks were weekly weeks.
Weekly weeks were weekly. Okay. Let's talk Star Citizen. Fuck it. So
busy week.
Busy week. Let's talk about the least important bit of news from the week, which is, strangely enough, around the verse. They showed off the coil.
Yep. They did. They showed off the coil. They talked about the technical challenges of doing the coil because it's this gigantic, many kilometer wide volumetric cloud, which is incredibly stressing on computers. And basically the ways that they're trying to make that actually function in the game. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm personally very excited to explore the coil. It's going to have a lot of nooks and crannies and places for them to hide interesting things, so that should be cool. But really, you know, ATV was just about the coil this week, so it was not a lot of news per se.
Triangularity.
They wound it up quite quickly.
What's that?
They wound it up quite quickly.
Oh God! All right, Triangularity, it's your turn to take over the show and stop us from punning.
Yeah, no, I felt that I did a real good spin on part of the world. So.
This is just going to keep going round, you know that. At this stage, it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. And it might be stinging a bit.
So you're going to
someone-
basically be able
can
to go
someone-
cave exploring in space in your spaceship.
Can someone
Which would be quite
convince
cool.
me to just stop running this show, period? Because
No.
that would be great.
No.
No, because then you'd have even more puns in Discord all the time.
Oh, it's true. I can't get away
Yeah,
from
your
it.
puns would just like overflow and start spreading throughout your whole life, and you want to focus them all in one show.
I'll let you know when that happens.
So, Shiver, Nehkara, what did you guys think of the coil?
It's awesome.
How big is it? Because it's going to be in the PU, so how much of a navigational hazard, how much time will it add to go around it, just out of interest?
I'm just guessing. I don't think they mentioned, but I mean, you look at the station and it's 6 kilometers wide. I would say the coil's got to be thousands of kilometers wide, maybe even 10,000.
It's that sort of thing
It's huge.
that for haulers that make it a bit more interesting than just going A to B, because you've got this huge thing in the way, and it's like, well, I could save time and earn more money and try and navigate my Starfarer through this, or I could just play it safe and go around. It's an interesting thing to add in rather than just straight lines and things.
Yeah, a lot of what they're talking about is like, there's great mining opportunities in the coil, but you can just die very easily. The walls of the coil shift all the time, and there's like electromagnetic hazards that can fry your ship, and yeah.
Now,
Yeah, was it one broken planet or two that just basically been completely obliterated and turned into this sort of singularity event or something?
Okay, well, Tofu, what I meant was I got that news from other places, so I didn't really consider ATV to be the source of that news. I was going to talk about that with RTV and with other updates.
Oh, yeah. Keep in mind, there is news. We're just starting with the least important news first, and the least important is the coil. Now, the coil is pretty cool. It looks great. It's also really impressive on a technical front. My question is, do you think that this is going to be kind of a standard thing? Like, the coil is huge and challenging to build, and they've built it clearly with some segments of Squadron 42 in mind, but Star Citizen itself is going to be so much larger. Do you think we're going to have coil-like things?
Oh, absolutely, because once you solve that challenge to build it once, building similar things is going to be very enticing because you already spent so much capital to get that tech done. Like, a lot of it's the volumetric, like being able to make volumetric clouds that don't destroy computers. Once you've done that, then you can make like nebulas and all sorts of really cool things that sort of spawn out of that. At least that's my opinion. I don't know.
I would imagine there's going to be other navigational environmental hazards as well to overcome, because otherwise, maybe not necessarily, here's another coil-like thing in another system, but something else in another system. I can easily see that happening, because you've got to keep hauling interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that with the volumetric tech, the gas giants and such would be quite fun to see in the game. I like Toffe the Fleiser said.
Yeah, like coil is really, really neat, and it does add a lot more to the game. And I'm kind of wondering now, like, gas giants do at some point have a core, correct?
Yes, they do.
Now, if they do gas giants properly, do you think you'll be able to go down and try and find cores of gas giants?
I think you'll be able to go down, and then the pressure inside the gas giant will crush your ship like a tin can.
Unless it's if it's a terrapin, maybe you could get down there with a terrapin. Like, I think that would be cool. The ability...
Or you might have to modify your ship to be like, to buy special equipment to modify your ship to be resistant to that kind of pressure. But no, that's definitely a possibility. Yeah.
Okay, so that was ATV. Quite frankly. Let's talk quickly about the new website.
Mm-hmm.
So they updated their website for the first time in a long time.
Quite some time, yes.
Any thoughts?
First of all, a disclaimer. Some people are wondering why parts of the site still look the same. It's because this is sort of phase one of a multi-phase change of the website. This first one was mostly to just split the site in 3 parts into the Squadron 42, Star Citizen, and the RSI parts. Some of the other pages got redone, but things like the store, didn't get touched much at all. I think that the site looks fine. It looks familiar, though, especially the RSI section. Have you guys checked out the other sections, like the Star Citizen one?
I have. I don't honestly see that much of a difference between this new page and the old page, to be completely honest. One of my biggest complaints about the old page was the first thing you see when you load up the page is a giant auto-playing movie, and that has not changed, and that kind of bothers me, and you have to go down to find. I am still not a fan of the site, to be honest.
That aspect still bothers me because it's really hard on systems. Like
it's quite difficult to look at it objectively as someone who's coming completely new to the site and looking at it in their eyes, because we're already quite familiar with having to navigate our way through the horrendous maze. I think that's the first thing they need to do, is work on the accessibility for new players, because there's always a Reddit post every week about, so I want to buy a ship. How the fuck do I buy a ship? And we know how to buy a ship, but if you're new, you may not.
So here's something. I just logged in because I wanted to see if there was a difference between how the site looked when I wasn't logged in and when I was. And I've logged in, and it's still giving me the enlist today to join the Squadron 42, like answer the call and prepare for flight, join the persistent. Sorry, I already own everything. I've got Squadron 42. I've got like 4 packages. Maybe that stuff shouldn't be there. It's under a live stats heading, but there's only one. I'm not a fan of the new site. The content in the RSI, like the RSI section, is still exactly the same. You've got like 4 comm links, then you've got a giant featured post banner that takes up an entire screen of real estate. It's the entire page when you scroll down. I prefer minimalist. Triangularity, your thoughts?
Actually, I think it's quite a nice site. If you actually go into join the universe, and it should be a quite normal start place for a new player. I'll join the universe, and you take a look at that, and you'll see kind of headlines, how to play on the universe and play now, etc. I'm not sure it's completely perfect. I think they'll make more. I think they'll keep working on how it looks and how it feels. But I think it's quite nice. I've seen much worse sites, though.
I've seen worse. I guess to me it feels like there's too much going on.
Have you looked serious, like in depth at the Star Citizen site?
No, not in depth. I haven't had time. Right now I'm looking at be who you are. You're born to fight, explore, unite, or trade. And I mean, that's kind of neat, but I don't know.
I just like killing.
Oh, wow. Straight out of Rick and Morty. Well, one of the things I do kind of, I don't know, I like the Star Citizen site. The only thing is the RSI site, basically all that's happened to it is they ripped out the other parts of the site.
All that's happened is they added the roadmap. And don't get me wrong, the roadmap,
yes, roadmap is huge.
Is excellent.
Oh, actually, that's something I should probably look at. Hey, I haven't even looked to see if the funding page changed at all. I doubt it, but
They probably got rid of it.
no, it's still there.
So yeah, let's talk about the roadmap because we've made it to that. It flows nicely. What do you guys think of the roadmap?
Fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I was expecting some shitty, really hard to navigate Trello thing and like having to go legend. Okay, where's like this is my symbol for looking at Trello, and it's actually quite nice and easy to read and just have a good idea of what's where. And the fact that it's updated automatically each week through their Jira is a really nice bonus.
Yeah, it's really nice to know that they don't have to work to update it. Like, it just happens.
Yeah. I love it. I really like this roadmap. It's like, ooh, what's here? What's here? Like, just looking into it. This is what I've wanted from development for a long time, of just like, ooh, what? Oh, look, the Cyclone has 11 of 38 tasks completed. I don't even care what those tasks are.
Just gives you an overview. Yeah.
It's a really, really simple overview. 11 of 38 completed. It gives you an idea of, oh, the Reclaimer has 32 of 56 tasks completed. It gives you a great idea of, here, this is how long it's going to take for this to be done, maybe. And you can watch, and I could check it every day, and I'd be like, ooh, 3 more tasks have been completed today. I'm excited today. Like, I like this sort of... They're not giving us all of the details, right? Like...
If you like progress bars, watching progress bars count down, have I got the game for you?
It would actually be nice to have like a way of... Anyway, I'm not even going to get into it, but watching the progress bars even more... Like, just have them everywhere and be like, ooh, it went up 1, and get notifications. You can, like, follow ships that you want to get updated notifications on. Like, let me know when tasks have been complete on the Reclaimer.
It's great and all, but there's just one problem. As is traditional with all bars, taskbars, especially on computers, it goes over 100. It goes to like that secret 110%.
Well, you know, you always
not all
have to give
bars.
110%.
Most bars just give you beer, Shiver.
Cheers.
Oh boy.
That's using your head.
So the other thing to note about the roadmap that was pointed out during our TV is that on the left-hand side of the roadmap there is a button for Star Citizen with a little Star Citizen logo. There will be at some point soon. There will be at some point soon.
Sorry.
A Squadron 42 logo there, and we'll have a Squadron 42 roadmap. I hope it's sooner rather than later. They're working on it. I hope it's, not too long.
I really hope that they give kind of the same amount of detail of, like...
It would be exactly the same.
But, like... so, maybe, like... Mission... Your segment 1... this many tasks. So don't give, like, they don't need to give the names of what they're working on kind of thing. Like, just really, really general, but an idea of where it is. Triangularity.
I think you'll find that you're a lieutenant in game, not a general.
I hate you. Triangularity. Have you looked through the roadmap at all?
Yeah, I have. I really like it. It's easy to understand, and there are some really nice little things to look forward to this year. So I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so let's talk about the good and the bad of this year. I want to start with the bad because
This year.
Yeah. The bad of this year is actually a more encompassing bad. So everyone, or many people, have noticed that playable female characters are not scheduled till Q4.
The end of Q4.
That on its own is bad, but what that means in the larger scheme of things in that female characters are required for Squadron 42.
Yeah.
That right there suggests Squadron 42 is maybe going to miss 2018.
Interestingly, they never said it was coming out in 2018.
They did not.
That was probably very strategic.
They did not. I'm
They
hoping.
could be doing the whole Star Wars thing and just having one woman in the entire universe.
You still haven't seen the new Star Wars, have you?
I have.
Oh, what did you think?
No one wants to hear that on this. I'll get hate mail.
Oh, okay. So
Actually, you
hated
probably won't. It seems to be really, really split.
Yes.
Some people love it. Some people hate it.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It just wasn't a good, in my opinion, Star Wars movie. And there was some of the things that happened in there deserved a lot better.
Oh my God, Tofu der Fleischer? Really? Yes. Okay. Here is a PSA to everyone. Public service announcement. The E in Relay is a satellite. It's a relay station. I came up with this.
Is that why we've put the satellite in the shape of an E? Because there's an E in Relay.
It is.
That's fucking genius. Who thought of that?
I thought of that. I drew it on a napkin with a crayon.
We own all the words with an E in them. Is that the deal?
Yes.
Do we own the word deal?
Yes.
That's great. Do we own the word great?
Yes.
Great.
Sunjammer, part of it is white so that it looks like an E, not a... I don't know what the fuck it would look like otherwise.
A sideways H.
Yeah. Now, getting back to the topic at hand.
Yeah.
Don't
I was going to
say
say if it was black, we'd have to put the E at the back of Relay.
I like how you said, don't say that, Shiv, and then you said it.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to say that, all right? Where's Fast Cart?
Where is Fast Cart when you need
okay.
him? Where is Fast Cart saying that this message was approved by Fast Cart? Fuck. Right. Like Miku says, one thing, there are less animations in Squadron 42 than Star Citizen. The tasks might not completely line up, but I sincerely doubt that. To be completely honest, I sincerely doubt that they won't line up, because if I'm looking at, I mean, what animations are there in Star Citizen that there wouldn't be in Squadron 42 yet?
Trading. That's about it.
But
Trading, mining.
But trading, what? We know you've already got the carrying animation.
Well, wouldn't you also need a certain set of animations that are all tied into whatever a female avatar does? Because, whatever a female avatar can and needs to do needs to be in there from the get-go before you start saying, well, this is how a female character interacts with anything, a drink on a bar.
The other problem with it is the way that they worded it was that we are finishing the male character and then we will work on the female character. So what that basically means, and then if we see the female characters in Q4, there's almost no chance that they get it done in time for a Q4 release of Squadron. There's no.
Unless they do female character is playable the same way that they're doing the F8 Lightning. It is available at launch of Squadron. So that task there is female character will be done. You can now play one in Star Citizen and you can play one in Star Squadron. They're done at the same time. Go. But
yeah,
what do you think, Triangularity? Any chance of that?
Yeah. I hope so. But I don't think so. I think we'll probably see Squadron 42 later next year, maybe. And then I would like to see it before something like in the autumn or something. That would be nice. But we not January next year. No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why not January?
It's. I feel it's too much kind of left to do.
Oh, it
We
wasn't
don't have-
like a general thing against January
I mean-
releases.
If we had actually a roadmap now for Squadron, maybe, but we haven't got a square roadmap at this time, so that means that, and they have kind of explained that we will get one. So there are tasks to be done. So, and there are quite a lot of tasks, not kind of just something, whip something together and ship it out. So now we will see the roadmap this year sometimes and next year. So
Do you
Yeah.
think the roadmap will show a year? So basically, when when the roadmap comes on, we're looking at about a year from there, give or take, until release.
might
Or do
be.
you think he'll just be like, here's what we're aiming for, and not
they're
necessarily release?
they're just showing kind of the 4 quarters in the existing one. So
So-
now we won't see the whole thing until the release. So No.
On our TV yesterday, one of the things that Chris said is that for Squadron, they're not
100%.
sure how they're
Thanks,
going to
Flint.
organize. Thank you, Flint, very much. One of the things they said in our TV yesterday, Chris said they're not sure how they're going to organize the Squadron schedule. It could be quarterly or it could be by month. But I mean, if you look at once we have the roadmap, if you look at it, there should be some general understanding of when they're aiming for release. But the problem is, even once all of the development is done, they have to playtest the bejesus out of it, and they can't do it publicly. It takes a lot of work for QA.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I would say it's probably solidly into the second half of next year.
I do have one question about that, because even last year, even early last year, we did know that QA were testing various portions of Squadron 42. They've been testing, I mean, in theory, they have the entire game laid out. You can go play all of it in order right now. It's just not all done. So even right now, they are testing that, right? They have QA people doing playthroughs of the game, testing various things, especially as new things get added to Squadron 42. So it's being tested all the way along. But yeah, it's going to take a while.
Yep.
the thing is that they can still test with kind of the screen full of white box and gray boxes. So
Yeah.
then it might be. I do hope we're going to see it in January, but no, we won't see it in January. Sorry.
I agree.
Yeah, sadly, yeah. Okay, throw us your questions. I would like questions. There's a lot of stuff to ask about this week.
Yes, there is tons of stuff.
So we'll get to those soon. We've only got 2 so far, so please throw us some questions.
We need questions.
We do need questions, because otherwise we've got nothing to do in the second half of this show, and I'll just sing.
Then you have to listen to Erris sing.
Yeah, it's really, really scary.
I love the fact that we're both saying the same thing, except I'm saying it sarcastically and threateningly, and you sincerely mean it.
Somewhere. Anyway,
No.
So let's talk about the best thing of this week, and something that actually, no, first, hang on. I just remembered something else. Okay, so I have a slight correction to make to something that I said last week. So last week, I was saying that CIG had tentatively shit the goddamn when it came to the concierge card and booklet thing, because I was not willing to pay as much for shipping for that as I had to, pay for shipping for the Jump Point Volume 3, which, again, is still $25 to buy, $35 to ship US. But the concierge booklet and card, one, it's new cash only. I'm completely okay with that. It's only $25, international shipping included. So thank you. That is the way I want things to be done. To be honest, I would actually rather they make a complete change in how they do their store and say that merchandise is new cash only, period, so that they can reduce the shipping charges. Because if you think about the shipping charges, one of the reasons the shipping charge on something like a Jump Point is probably so high is because if someone pays the $30 in credit, CIG now has to ship it out of the game development budget because it doesn't cover the book. So make merchandise new cash only, no credit, and reduce the shipping costs. I'd be 100% okay with that. CIG, please do it.
So is this a tentative thank the goddamn?
I don't know what the opposite would be, actually.
Clean the goddamn.
I love whoever's asking these questions, by the way. They've got amazing names.
So that was good news. Yeah, I as soon as I saw that shipping was included, I ordered it immediately.
Yeah, same.
Immediately.
Yep.
And I'm still not ordering the freaking Jump Point because I asked them about it and they're like, well, it's just the way it is. And I'm like, well, I don't care. It's too much money.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about one other thing. I want to quickly get to it because some people were complaining this week, about the F8 Lightning.
They should stop complaining.
I would like to go through and ask everyone else's opinion, but first, my opinion. This is actually, I think, the best way that CIG could sell the F8 Lightning, because they're not fucking selling it. They're giving the civilian version of the F8 Lightning to a few people who have spent, quite frankly, way too goddamn much on the game. But it's not like they give it in advance. They get it when Squadron 42 comes out, and when Squadron 42 comes out, everyone else can get access to get it. It's not locked behind anything. They're not paying for anything. I am 100% okay with what they're doing with the F8 Lightning here. Nehkara?
I'm 100. I agree completely. They aren't selling it at all. It is being given as a gift to people who are at the top 2 tiers, which are like
technically
$20,000.
Technically, I believe all ships are gifts from CIG in thanks for funding the game.
That is definitely a good way to look at it, yeah. I don't think a lot of people see it that way, but this one in particular is they didn't even specifically pledge for that ship. They're just getting it because they've given CIG a lot of money and support. And I mean, not only that, but it's if you play through the campaign, you'll get a badge that allows you to buy it in the universe.
And it's not even that you have to beat the game, it's that you have to get to the point in the game where you can fly one to purchase it in universe. And also something that I noticed in the RTV, which we'll have to talk about momentarily, is that he said, I do believe they said that this isn't the only ship like that.
There's the other ones.
There are other ships like that. So quickly, Shiver, what do you think about the F8 Lightning and then Triangularity?
Yeah, I think it's a good compromise. It's a reward to people who have, as you say, spent a shitload of money. Thank you, you mad people. And it's a ship that we all can get as well once we've completed Squadron, right? Well,
No,
we have the ability to buy it, don't we?
We have
you have the ability
to buy
it in the game.
in the game.
Yeah.
Once we reach the point in the game where we can fly it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you are this certain level backer, you can just buy it.
No, you just get it free.
Oh, you just get it free.
You
Yeah,
get
it's
one.
a gift. Yeah.
It's a gift.
It is a
They spent a
it's a
lot of money on
concept
this game. I'm good with this. Thank you.
Triangularity, what do you think?
No, I totally agree with what you guys said. It's a real nice kind of small little gift for well, the big spenders. So, and when everybody can get it, I have really no problems with this.
Yep.
So
It's kind of like the Million Mile High Club, right? Which eventually anyone will be able to get that in game kind of thing, but it's only for certain. I'm completely okay with what they're doing there. Okay. Oh, good. Lots more questions.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to see what all these, because it was mentioned that there are other ships like this as well in the game, so I'm curious what those are. But I have a sneaking suspicion they are specifically keeping those secret this time around.
Yeah.
Because the reason the F8 Lightning is getting treated like this is that it was spoiled a couple years ago.
Accidentally spoiled.
Yes, accidentally spoiled years ago.
I'd actually would guess that you would have a similar pirate version or some outlaw version that's going to be in game. So
I suspect there's probably also a bomber that's like this.
Yeah.
That is a sort of an exclusive bomber.
Well, if you think about bombers that there are right now, there's the Gladiator, which is a small one, and the Tally, which is a medium one, and the
there are some capital ships that are like that too.
But like
Polaris is it's a torpedo boat, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
but there aren't many. Like, I mean, if you think about fighters that they have, they've got the Hornet, the Gladius, the Avenger, the
the other
tons, right?
The other torpedo boat is the Harbinger. The Vanguard Harbinger.
Right.
And the Eclipse.
Yeah. So there are some.
But I could imagine there being more like high-end bombers, because right now we've got a lot of fighters, not many bombers. Okay, so we had this week on RTV something that, to be completely honest, we have been lacking for a long time, and it's something that I really hope happens more often. We've basically been lacking what we got on RTV this week since they shut down 10 for the chairman and alternatively 10 for the developers. We got an hour with Chris Roberts where Chris just answered questions. And if I personally go back to one of the things that has always made me most excited about Star Citizen, it is Chris Roberts answering questions. That's what gave me faith in the game, was that the person in charge of the game was willing to sit there and talk for literally for hours about his plans and answer questions. So I was really, really happy to see Chris on RTV this week for the entire hour that he answered questions. I really, really hope that they do this more often, and I hope that everyone pushes them to do that more often, because I know Chris is really busy, and I know that his team need him a lot, and he does a lot of work. But when it comes down to it, us backers are kind of part of the team too, and we need Chris too. Chris honestly gives faith in the project, in my opinion. So before we get into what he talked about on RTV, I want to ask you guys what you like, how you felt about actually seeing Chris again for the first time in a while. Shiver?
I haven't watched it yet, to be honest.
You bastard. Nehkara?
New game came out yesterday. I've just been sat here square-eyed playing it.
It was fantastic to see him again talking about, especially about Squadron, because like a lot of the stuff he talked about and reiterated was stuff that we have had a big question mark on for like 3 years. Like what the state of the game was and what's going to happen and are there difficulty levels? How do you save? All these things that he talked about. No, it was fantastic. It's he's the one driving the vision, the tie-in vision of the whole project. So it's nice to see where he thinks things are at.
Triangularity?
Yeah, he really drives the community too, because he is a really engaging man, and he really kind of knows how to talk about his game. So I really like that. Well, actually, one thing I didn't like that little sequence was that the secrecy of some things they need to have. It's like it was long periods last year where Chris didn't show up and answered things on several shows. So kind of you could feel kind of the mood went down in the community. And after this show, I think it will pick up a bit. So we need him to be there, and we need kind of to get the feel that the questions are not kind of censored into kind of secrecy. It's an open development. We don't need to have the kind of we don't need the secrets of Squadron, because that's something you need to discover in game. But we need to kind of get the feel that we are a part of the development. When we are getting told through a filter of things, we will feel like a second part are not included. So
absolutely. I thought that was one of the really good things about this format, is that they ask the questions from the Spectrum threads that were most upvoted. They ask live questions from Twitch chat. They don't really filter much here. That became one of the problems with 10 for the Chairman, was that they would filter the questions so much that they always answered the same question, and it was like, well, how about all the new questions?
I want to really quick, because we're going to get to questions in just a moment, but I want to really quickly go over the most important things that came out of that RTV. I've also posted the link to the RTV summary on Relay. Go check that out if you haven't watched it.
Who did that transcript of Reverse Averse?
Me.
Thank you, Nehkara.
You did that all by yourself?
Yeah. It's not a transcript. To be clear, it's not a transcript, and it says that at the top. It is a summary. It is a summary, because transcribing that would have been a nightmare.
We only transcribe around the verse, basically, is how it works now, because we only have a limited number of people to transcribe. Sunjammer is one of them. Sunjammer does entirely too much work for us. Same with Dismarius.
Thank you, Sunjammer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everyone.
Thank you to everybody who helps us with transcripts.
Transcripts take a lot of time, so we don't do transcripts for things like RTV because it's insane. I want to quickly go over the main things from RTV. F8 Lightning, you don't get it till Squadron is out, and then basically everyone can get it. Squadron 42 will 100% have female player characters. They're just working on the animations. Will Squadron 42 have different endings? Kind of. It's
not really.
It affects your journal. You'll be able to like unlock things in the PU, but there is a one successful ending to Squadron. Future chapters of Squadron 42. Squadron is a trilogy. There's episodes 2 and 3 as well as Squadron 42, which is episode 1. They will be kind of the same thing, separate from the PU, but will add unlockable stuff in the PU. Head tracking, track IR, Toby, all of that. Yes, that will probably be implemented. That is their goal. character customization for Squadron 42. It's going to be the same in Squadron 42 as the PU. For Alpha 3.1, it's going to be basic. Switch heads, hair, eye, and skin color, but the final system will have more options, including full facial morphing. What of Squadron 42 will be cooperative? There will be no cooperative story campaign. Big battles will be able to be played separately from the campaign as cooperative battles. We've actually known that since, what, like 2013 or 2014?
It's been a while.
It's been a long time we've known that. Roadmap for Squadron, there will be a roadmap. And then there's some clarifications about the current roadmap, whatever. There are more big name actors in Squadron 42 that have not yet been announced. Is there going to be first-person combat? Yes. Will Squadron be available in other languages besides English? Yes. Captions and voice for some, captions only for others. It's going to be near the end. Probably English, German, French, Italian, and Spanish.
What about Vandal?
Well, of course.
They probably don't have to dub Vandal.
What if I don't understand human?
Don't worry. They said English.
I don't understand human.
They said English, not American. So you should.
Can I
be
just
good.
touch quickly on the first-person combat thing?
Yep.
So that question was basically how much of your combat is on foot and how much of it's in the ship. And Chris actually said it's about 50-50, he thinks. And apparently, like as he said, that this is the way he's always wanted to make games, but it was hard to do it earlier in his career.
Yeah.
And one of the things he compared it to is Star Wars. He's like, they're not always flying ships in Star Wars. You know, there's a lot of ground combat. So that's sort of what he was comparing it to.
And the last thing on this quick list is, can we say our characters speak in the third person, or are we going to be restricted only to first person? That hasn't actually been decided yet. They have the ability to do either. It's got fully captured performance either way. They'll basically decide that near the end, because that's a pretty quick thing. There is some other stuff, but let's go on to questions.
I like questions.
That was a quick burst of news there for everyone. So, Triangularity.
We should do a summary of those once every week,
We should do a summary of that once a week. We could call it the Relay
Reply.
once per week summary of the news that happened in Star Citizen.
That's a really long title.
Yeah, but it's catchy.
We could call it the Relay Really Invigorating Parsed Log and Yodel.
No, you need more work on those titles.
Yeah, that's not a very good title. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I wasn't sure what... I couldn't think of something with Y.
The Committee for the Liberation and Integration of Terrifying Organisms and Their Rehabilitation into Society.
I don't want to know what that spells, because it's probably something dirty. Let's move on to the questions.
I wouldn't know, Clitoris.
Fuck you. For anyone that's not into this particular brand of the joke, we do actually do a Relay replay once per week. It normally goes live on Sundays or Mondays. It is a straight up under 10-minute summary of the week's news in Star Citizen. Yeah.
And you can even hear it on the base.sc on regular rotation.
It's true. So, questions. Triangularity's Ceiling asks, now that we have the new roadmap, how do you feel about what they're aiming to release this year? Pretty good.
And yeah, I'm actually pretty happy. They're especially when you look at that, like the 3.2 is really exciting. Like really exciting. There's 17 gameplay entries in the schedule. Basically all of mining, all of salvage, most of refueling. and manual repair, so you can like float outside your ship and repair it. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, also distress calls, service beacons, all that good stuff. And then very excited for Q3 for all the locations to come in. So this is the Hurston and everything around
I
it.
am most excited for Q4 for female character models. Not gonna lie. I think that's something that the game has needed for a fucking long time.
It seems to be split into like mostly new gameplay stuff, fix a lot of stuff with a few new things, lots of new stuff, fix up and a few new things. Which is a good idea. It seems a bit more realistic and achievable this year rather than Carrack, 2 months.
Yeah. What do you think, Triangularity? Are you happy with what they think they're going to get this year?
I feel that it's lacking a bit, the roadmap. I feel that it's supposed to be more things there, but
like what?
I can't. No, I'm not sure. I'm not a game developer. I don't know how the things are, how long things take. So, but it feels good with 3.2 with the gameplay entries.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
This is as it stands at the moment. Things can be added as well as taken away.
Which I do hope, because let's say if you look in the old schedule, we had plenty of weapons and such kind of on the schedule.
Yeah.
And here we have 4 entries, so it's kind of.
And I will actually agree with you there. The weapons in Star Citizen is something that still to this day frightens me for the final release of the PU. There aren't enough weapons. Are
you triggered about this?
There haven't been enough weapons for years. There still aren't enough weapons, and there's still no indication of how they're going to have a system that has enough weapons for a game that considers itself to be an MMO.
So you don't? Do you think that they need to put more weapons in scope?
Oh,
I hate you. Flint Dragon.
So can I say something for a moment?
Yeah, go.
You're gonna throw things at me, aren't you? So I just wanted to get an idea of how long they've been working on the female character models. So I actually found the Wingman's Hangar female model topology shoot, which was May 1st of 2013. And that wasn't even when they did the shoot. That's when they put it on Wingman's Hangar. So it's been at least like 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 5.
Oh, Sunjammer, I hate you. Really? Like Flint Dragon says, in regards to Triangularity's comment, Chris addressed this. It's automated for the most part, and it doesn't actually contain everything that's planned because it doesn't contain things that haven't been assigned yet. That might be fixed later in the year. So that might be better. Tom Trustworthy, just because it's an MMO doesn't mean they need millions of weapons that are green, blue, purple, yellow. No. But it does mean they need more than 13 weapons. Like, they don't need millions. They don't need to be Borderlands here. But they need hundreds, if not thousands, of weapons and other items. And right now, I'm pretty sure they've got, what, like, under 50?
Total items?
Probably. 50 would have been a fair amount. I mean, you haven't got a huge amount of guns in, say, like Battlefield, but you've got plenty for variety.
But Battlefield is not an MMO.
True enough.
I would like more weapons because of the because of the immersion part. Kind of in a large universe like this. I would be surprised if there are just 50 kinds of hand weapons. So
here's the thing. I completely disagree with everything everyone in the chat is saying. CIG, no, straight up. Here's the thing. CIG have said for the longest time, if you get a ship, the ship base itself is not the best. What you have to be doing to get the best ship is get better and better and better weapons. And if there are not enough weapons, if you've only got 5 to 10 options for size 1 weapons, guess what? It doesn't get any better. There needs to be more.
I think chat has got this good point. We just might be underestimating how much we can do with one gun. You may have thousands. Okay, that's a huge exaggeration. You may have a huge number of different combinations you can do with just one gun to get all sorts of different results. And then there's all materials that you build the stuff out that goes into the gun as well. So I don't think it's necessarily. I think we're going to be met halfway. You know, I don't think there's going to be hundreds of guns, but there will be a large amount of guns that you can then customize in so many different ways.
I would like to see them implement some kind of system, something like Mass Effect 1 did, where they only had X number of weapon models. They had, you know, this is your base rifle, but it has quality levels 1 through 10. And that's not the greatest system to implement, but I would like to see them implement, like, you can even do it with graphics cards now, right? You can buy a base 1070 or whatever, or you can buy one that is more like a better one for better overclocking, a better this. So add that. Add your Castak Arms shotgun standard model, or you can add the overclockers model of the Castak Arms that has more adjustment possible for overclocking. It's the same bloody weapon model, but the stats are different. And you can add, like, you can do things like that. It's just, we need to see what they can do to add more to the game, because everyone's already bought the ships. There are people that own every single fucking ship in the game. There has to be something that you're going for. And when it comes to something like, what's the capital ship that they're selling without weapons?
That's the Javelin.
The Javelin, sorry.
No,
the Javelin
has no weapons.
It has no weapons, but if you get the Javelin and then you just load it up with weapons and you're good to go right from there, there has to be upgrades. There has to be somewhere to keep going. Oh, hey, Jay Lee.
So so someone who's got a Javelin is going to have to get out of their ship, shout abuse at their enemy, and then try and use chloroform them out with their armpits or something because they've got no weapons.
Jay Lee says stats will probably be different depending on the mods you equip on your weapon. But hey, I just draw stuff. What do I know? Hey, I just yell at people on the internet.
Have you drawn any mods for guns?
Well,
hey, I just yell at people on the internet. What do I know? And here's something I wanted to say a few minutes ago. Disclaimer, none of us here are developers. Period.
Are you sure about that?
No, we might also be CIG employees. You never know. Go ahead, Triangularity.
Yeah, thanks. Just to clarify, what I meant with different more guns in total is that I would like a character customization. I want kind of to create a character that, let's say, make a cowboy with a revolver. I want kind of have a revolver to be able and kind of pull the guns out of my belt. So, but let's say it would be nice to have a system for modification of the guns. So you could have, let's say, 5, 6 different kind of barrels, or 5, 6 kind of different stocks or pistol grips or something like that. So you can make your own gun. It's like one of my largest salty parts with another game called World of Warcraft is that everybody looked the same for a while there. Mm-hmm. So you had to loot kind of, this was the best gear. You need this look kind of, and everybody looked the same except the races. So it's kind of, it's not immersion. again, my immersion is that it's more diversified than kind of just 15 guns or something like that.
And we will have to see when modding comes out what we can mod and how we can do things. And yeah, I just want variety is I think what I'm getting at.
Yeah, variety. The stats is not important because, well, you're just as good as yourself are playing. So,
if I'm looking at the game right now, I really don't like actually any of the weapons. None of them feel like me, and I'm waiting for a weapon that I like. Like
Okay, here's the question, David. What do you feel like in a weapon? What weapon is you?
What weapon is me? So there's the problem. Things more from World War II. I don't like the super sci-fi with like giant things everywhere and attachments and you've got your sniper rifle, but the scope on the sniper rifle is bigger than your head, and I want something simple and sleek.
Blowgun.
Catapult.
I would
Elastic band with some paper. That really helps.
Yes, I would like an elastic band. But in one of those little plastic guns that shoots it for you?
No, sorry, that's too technical.
Fuck.
You get a spud gun now.
I want Firefly guns.
Fireflies can't hold guns. They're too small.
You make really, really tiny ones. They shoot like grains of sand.
You have to go to the really, really small gun shop to buy the really, really small gun ammo from the really, really small gun shopkeeper.
Yes.
Really, really small gun shop town.
Hey, are you discriminating against smaller people?
You have to go there in a really, really small car.
And you have a really small house.
Really, really big interest rate on the mortgage still.
Yes, of course. That you can't get away from.
Okay. And driving around in Javelin.
Okay, let's get back to some of these questions. Wow, little... Whew.
Okay, question time.
Citizen Shenanigans asks, they left the Hull C out of the schedule because they don't have a resource assigned to fix the collapsing grid. Do you think the Banu Merchantman and the Carrack were left out for a similar reason? Probably not, because they don't need a collapsing grid. There's probably another reason that they were left out. Probably just that they don't have a resource assigned to something that they need, but it wouldn't be the collapsible grid.
Yeah, I think that's what they meant. But yeah.
I can only parse what is written. Shiver's Weird 7-Up Flag asks, what do you think will be the changes coming to the Voyager Direct, or they're going to be talking about next week on Calling All Devs?
I'd heard of
I heard a wild rumor that Jay Lee had created a slingshot and that was going to be going up for sale on Voyager Direct.
That sounds like a great rumor. I'm very curious about whether this rumor is true.
The wild rumor I heard was that if you've bought anything on Voyager Direct, you're going to get your money back because everything's going to be free on Voyager Direct or something. But
hey, Jay Lee, do you have a space slingshot for us?
He's never going to talk in here again.
This is why devs don't come to our stream.
Ashley says Boring Company is bearing series confirmed.
Totally.
Totally. Yeah.
They look so much like Star Citizen weapons.
The Boring... Here, let me see if I can paste this 1 second.
The Boring Company flamethrower?
Yeah, the Boring Company... okay. Jay Lee did not confirm a slingshot for everyone, just for me. I can't get this link to work.
I will do it then. How about that?
Yeah, can you do it?
I'm with you, Steve Madman. I did exactly the same because you never know when that might come in useful, right? It's not just going to be decorative. Same with the fish tank. Every single one of those.
So this is the Boring
Company. I got it up.
You got it to work. Okay.
Yeah. The Boring Company flamethrower looks exactly like the Bearing Company arms. So,
very similar, yes.
Jay Lee, can we get a confirmation that Boring is Bearing?
Wait, actually,
And that bearings are very boring.
wait. So what we're saying is that the boring company that started out trying to drill holes in the earth ends up being a weapons company.
They switched from drilling holes in the earth to drilling holes in people.
That's right.
Is it true that all Americans get those guns for free because they have a right to bearing arms?
Oh, that's amazing.
That's a nice one.
I think we should spend the rest of the show just.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, Ashley also says, okay, Eric, whatever, fuck it. Eric, you have 3 minutes. SpaceX news. Go.
3 minutes. Okay.
3 minutes.
Falcon Heavy successfully static fired last week. This paves the way for launch on February 6th. Falcon 9 successfully static fired yesterday for its mission on January 30th, which is 3 days from now. That mission is GovSat 1. There's a lot of other news as well. Falcon Heavy will land all 3 cores. That has now been confirmed because GovSat 1 will not land, which frees up the drone ship for the Falcon Heavy. Those are really the highlights. The other thing that I rediscovered this week that I wanted to point out that is really cool, SpaceX is launching the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, which is also known as TESS, for NASA on March 20th. So that is a big NASA mission that is being launched by SpaceX. That space telescope will go into an orbit that has never been used before by any spacecraft. It is a highly elliptical orbit that takes it sort of it utilizes the moon and the Earth as a very wide orbit. Okay, there you go. I think that was.
You did it in 2. You did it in 2. I'm impressed.
I was wondering for a while, why are you flipping me off?
I wasn't. I was debating whether to go to one with this finger or this finger.
No, you were sat there like this, and I'm like, well, that's charming, isn't it?
Oh, is that a swear word over in Brittontown?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I apologize.
Did you know that, interesting enough, Left 4 Dead 2 had to change their trademark in this country because originally, the North American game package still has it. It's like that in North America. And in the UK, it's this way.
Really? Did not know that. Okay, Mr. Gasket asks, does anyone think it's strange that there's no info on the Cutlass Blue and Red from the roadmap? No. What are they called? Variants come later.
Although the freelance variants are on the schedule.
About fucking time.
But they're in Q4.
Yeah.
About fucking time.
I'm actually
along with the
I'm really happy. 300 the 300 series rework is actually on the schedule,
which is excellent. Ashley asks, should Star Citizen have flamethrower weapons? Yeah, but they have to be made by Boring Bearing. Citizen Shenanigans asks, Erris, will you wear a skin tone shirt with cuffs and your black bow tie on stream? No dancing though. I don't own a skin shown t-shirt.
It's easy for you to say.
Fuck! I don't own a skin toned Fuck!
A skin tone shirt.
I don't own that or cuffs. Or a black bow tie. But if someone bought all 3 for me and sent them to me, yes, I would wear them. Ashley asks, I remember Lando having talked about the F-8 no longer being the best of the best. Do you think we'll see a new cutting-edge military fighter unavailable to civilians? Triangularity, what do you think?
Come again, please?
Sorry. So Lando originally talked about the F-8 no longer being the best ship. Do you think we're going to see a new cutting-edge military fighter ship that's not available to civilians?
I do hope so, because I would like to have a kind of the military to have the best of the equipment, because it's kind of natural.
And we all know that the Hornet is not the best. It's the 3rd worst. Nehkara's Bear Drywall asks,
I love whoever thought of those names.
Will game systems and ships coming online over the year, how do you feel about the disconnect between certain game systems and their accompanying ships not coming out at the same time? For example, the Terrapin and Scanning, the Reclaimer and Salvage, etc. Shiver, you go ahead and answer this one.
Oh, I saw that in the roadmap. I was like, oh, the Reclaimer's coming out in 3.1. And then 3.2 is Salvage. It's pretty interesting, but I suppose it's done when it's done. It may not even come with 3.1 if it's not done. Whatever it's done on the date for 3.1 is going to be in 3.1. But it's a little weird at first, but you know, you'll get to be familiar with the ship before you go out and learn how to use it, at least, because I still get lost in the Starfarer.
And keep in mind, the Starfarer came out and we don't have ship refueling yet.
That's not until
Well, no,
fall?
that is. I think it's 3.2.
Oh, okay.
I think it's in there 3.2, but I mean the Prospector's out too, and we don't have mining.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of. I think honestly, they get them done when they get done, and then, you know, whenever the gameplay mechanic comes along, then there you go. Only thing that would be really annoying,
the Cutlass is out, and there's still no mechanic to go and cry to your mom about how it's not good enough yet.
Oof.
Yeah, but I can moan about how it doesn't have a toilet.
One thing, actually, I wanted to mention: the repair ships are going to be done for 3.3, and the Crucible's not on the schedule. Now, that said, it may be in the same situation as the Hull C, where it just doesn't have the resources attached to it yet.
It's got that weird bridge, hasn't it, that rotates, which is really cool, but I can see that being a hell of a problem to implement.
I can see it,
Shiver?
like holding other ships inside its little ship bay and repairing them is a problem too.
Shiver?
Hello.
I just took a quick look at the roadmap. Fuel transfer and buying and selling fuel, and also the service beacon to call for a refuel are all in 3.2.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so
Which is awesome.
Ashley asks a question. Triangularity, I'm going to throw this to you. What episode of Squadron 42 do you expect to see the Retribution in?
Question.
That's I don't know. I haven't really kind of looked into the lore and such, so I don't know. I wouldn't try to guess even.
That's yeah, I'm going with that, to be honest. I don't know.
One.
Okay.
It's going to be hidden somewhere. No. One.
Well,
and what's going to happen is you're going to wake up in this huge environment. You're going to be like, oh, wow, this is Shiver. And then you come out and you're like, that was a fucking Retribution.
Well, we saw it at one point in concept art being built. So maybe we'll see like it in the background being built at one point in Squadron Episode 1.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be used as a Dreadnought piece, you know, a very brief introduction of this is the Retribution program. You see the skeletal form, and then as the Vandal threat increases, they're going to want to accelerate it, and you'll probably have to protect it being under construction.
And
only one gun's complete.
You're probably going to have to
and so
vote. You're probably going to have to go to voting stations and vote, because there will be politicians that want to fund the Retribution and ones that don't. And you're going to have... And if
I get
you don't,
that reference.
Yeah. So Ashley asks, what do you think about the new RTV? Would you rather see something like the old community manager hangout show with random devs, or this? I'd rather... Go ahead.
I miss Ben.
Yeah.
Period. I miss
Not
that.
that there's anything wrong with Disco, but we do miss Ben.
Disco is great. That new RTV was excellent. It'll be great if they get that amount of questions from people like Chris or Tony, or even people like Jay Lee or anyone else on the CIG team. But yeah, I miss Ben.
Hey, Jay Lee, can you tell Ben we miss him?
Yeah, please do.
And that we love him.
Yes.
Everyone misses Ben. Ben was the soul, or is the soul, of this community just as much as Chris Roberts is, in my personal opinion.
I agree.
Citizen Shenanigans asks, CR confirmed in the RTV that there will be a patch before 3.1. Do you think we'll get it soon or closer to 3.1 when it doesn't really matter anymore?
I would say February sometime.
I'd be okay with February.
Ain't they kind of updating kind of the backend systems all the time? They're getting patches all the time.
They're hotfixing the servers all the time. They do need to do like a bug fix to the client, but I think somewhere in February is probably when we're going to see it. Because I mean, in order to even release on time for 3.1, they're going to have to start Evocati probably in February sometime. So, yeah.
I'm sorry.
What are you laughing about?
Chat.
Oh, I see.
I would actually handwrite greeting card invitations to people at CIG to come on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably best you do it, because I'd write them like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland.
My writing is completely unintelligible.
Jaylee looks rather terrified.
I
did say I would do that request, and then Christmas happened.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Jaylee says if we request it and it's cleared, he'll come on the show.
Sounds good.
There you go,
We will-
David. Get on it.
I will request that. Thank you, Jay Lee. Hey, there's a
Did you
lot
realize
of...
he's now like dialing the number for what's his name? The media guy.
Witness protection.
That too. Yeah. David Swafford. He's now dialing David Swafford's number, going, "Say, don't clear that.
Don't clear it. Don't clear it. Oh my god.
David Swaffer's going to be like, who? Never heard of Relay.
Oh, sad. Haramis asks, what do you think about CIG not having a booth at Gamescom this year? I'm okay with that.
Focus on the game."
I am actually already planning a trip to Austin. Because
I've already looked up flights. No, I'm going to. It's back in North America. I'm going.
Yeah. It might not cost me $1,000 to fly there. Yeah, I'm going to try and fly.
Yeah, actually, I looked up flights from Calgary from here, and I can get a return flight for $394 Canadian.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, we here at Relay will probably do what we did in 2016.
Yeah.
Rent a place for everyone. We'll all head down. I'll bring some alcohol.
Sortilege.
I'll bring some sortilege. I will give some sortilege to any CIG devs that come on this show.
Wow.
So where are they going to get the corrupt alcoholic ones?
Yes.
So all of them.
Yeah, it'll be great. Ashley asks, do you
That's
expect
a
to see a
joke.
ship that's only available to those that have finished Squadron 42 or gotten a very good score in it? Maybe
good
a
question.
ship, maybe something else. I do expect there to be something for you finished with the winning ending of Squadron 42. Here's what you get in the PU. What do you think, Triangularity?
I would think that the winning ending should be something like "I survived," but
And that's good enough.
But,
Everyone else died.
I would say maybe I'm kind of a USC reward or something like that. The thing is, they said that they're going to reward during the game what kind of your decisions, what you're going to have in the PU afterwards. It might be our reward on the end, but probably won't be.
I think it should scale. If
So
you finish it on easy, you get an F7A. If you finish it on medium, you get the lightning. And then because it's Chris is old school gamer, proper gamer, period developer. When you finish it on hard, you just get a medal that says I beat the game.
I think you should get one of the things I do think they should do at the end of Squadron assuming that a decent number of players will play Squadron, and then like as a way to go directly into the persistent universe. And I think they probably already think they'll do this, but I would really like them to have a fairly significant UEC reward, as a way of like the pay, like your pay for your military service kind of thing. Oh dear God, what happened?
I like the cut of that Jay Lee's jib.
I'm not going to say it because he might get angry at me, but you can just read it in chat. It's hilarious.
Oh boy,
I thought of that.
That's really good.
Hey, Jay Lee, you should forward that on to Disco there.
Yeah, that's really good. Haramus asks, how do you like the new question show on Mondays?
I haven't watched it yet. That is my personal bad.
I think it's quite nice because you'll hopefully we'll see quite a lot of different people. So it's good to see new faces.
Ash,
Mondays.
what's Monday? Monday is Mondays.
You can watch it in the replay, you know.
What? No, it's past. It's no longer happening. It's old news. Ashley asks, speaking of the female character models, how excited are you for 4K nether regions, scale of 1 to 10?
26.
42?
Okay.
Tilu asks, any ETA on where we'll be able to start Arena Commander match and multi-crew ship? Selecting pilot, engineer, or gunner slot from the start.
It's a good question, but no idea.
No idea.
There wasn't anything that specifically seemed like multi-crew stuff in the roadmap either, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean there isn't anything in there for multi-crew.
Kyleron asks, unless it's included in the 3.2 economy push, I don't see any mention of purchasing ships with UEC or AUEC. Do you think that they're still working on adding that functionality, or was it pushed to the back burner?
Hey, Jay Lee, was it pushed to the back burner, or are we still buying ships in 3.1?
That's the wrong question you asked. Have you had to draw any receipts for a player buying a ship recently?
Oh boy. And he actually said that's a great question. Actually,
I think he said that to the.
No, he said that. No, one. He said that for this.
Keep in mind, they're 30 seconds behind.
Oh God, damn it! Yo, dog, I just draw stuff. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's still in. That's pretty recently that they told us that it would. Yeah, chips would be purchasable in 3.1. Then again, you never know. Things change all the time.
Clit Erris asks, who's going to SitCon this year? Hopefully, most of us.
It's not a good name.
Who's going to SitCon? I'm going to SitCon. Absolutely.
I would like. I'm planning to. If I can afford it, I'm going.
I have to pay for a ticket from Japan, a visa, and then possibly that. Oh yeah, and the accommodation and two tickets, 2 games. Oh God, maybe.
Good luck.
See you there, Shiver.
Splooge asks, do you guys think all the game mechanics in 3.2 are unreasonable and will be pushed back?
Some of them will probably be pushed.
Yeah.
I think it's
some of them
reasonable.
might even come forward, but that's the unlikely thing to happen. But it's possible.
Things will move around in this schedule, 100%. People need to understand that.
Haramus asks, will there be will the quarter patch be in the end of the month or sometime before?
And I think it's planned to be at the end of the quarter. So March 31st, June 31st, September 30th. Sorry, June 30th, September 30th, and then December 31st. So I would say probably pretty close to the end of each quarter, probably last week-ish.
And last question we have from Tilu. Do we know when Squadron 42 2 or Squadron 42-3 take place in time? Is it still in the 10 plus or 10 minus 10 years before the PU? Also, what is the implication of like rewards available in the PTU for finishing each episode?
You mean the PU? Yeah, PU.
Yeah, PU. Sorry.
Well, someone else can answer this if they want, but what they said in RTV was that what Chris said in RTV is that all 3 episodes of Squadron are placed before the timeline of the persistent universe. And it sounds like there's at least years in between, because they talked about visiting Odin and visiting like locations that are years later than when you encountered them in Squadron. So I would say it's probably a significant amount of time, yeah.
I mean, at this point, Squadron 42 is in 2942, and the PU is going to be in 2949. So there's what, like 7 years there already?
There you go.
We did actually just have 3 more questions come in, and we do have 6 minutes before we're going to end.
Go.
So Ashley asks, have we seen the Mustang variant for AMD and the Sabre variant for Intel? Or having seen the Mustang and the Intel variants, what ship will NVIDIA get?
A turtle. The Terrapin. A bright green Terrapin.
Probably something functional that doesn't break
It's a
down.
fucking Orion, because of all those fucking Bitcoin miners fucking buying all the fucking cards all the fucking time. So normal people who want to fucking play a fucking game can't fucking play a fucking game because all these fucking miners have bought all the fucking cards and driven all the fucking prices up because they're assholes.
Thank you, because I'm trying to buy a video card right now.
Don't.
Nope. Hey, I'm gonna say it right now. And I don't even live in the United States, but huge props to Micro Center. They are now offering that if you buy the rest of your system with them, they will sell you the video card for MSRP, which no one else will.
Yeah.
So that's huge props to them.
Yeah, just fuck Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, it's really messing. Thankfully, it sounds like the GPU manufacturers are going to try and do something about this, but it's going to probably take a little while.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Noscavian. We do need some Bitcoin skins for the Orion. So Jay Lee, as a drawer of drawings, get drawn.
The problem is, though, if you do a Bitcoin skin, one day it's going to be like 10 cents. An hour later, it's going to be $10. Then it's back to 10 cents.
And then it just fries your entire video card because it says fuck you. Yeah. Okay, we are... You know what? I'm going to leave the next 2 questions for next week. Okay. Sorry, just because we're gonna stop here. Before we go, though, Triangularity, thank you so much for joining us. Do you do anything else in the Star Citizen sphere?
Well, except for making you dance.
I mean, that is a pretty worthy word. Insert word here. I can't remember the word.
Thank you, Triangularity.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Now do the dance.
Dance.
Oh, God. Ow! That was my knee.
Look, come on. You've got to be doing this until Star Citizen comes out, right? On that day, I want you to be like, I'll do the wave. Oh.
Hey, Jay Lee, because you do everything but draw, can I get brought in to do some motion cap for the wave?
Totally. That would be amazing. We need to get that as an emote in the game. / wave 2 will just be your Erris wave.
Yeah, actually, Stevie Madman, hockey injuries suck. Miku Hatsune asks, when is the Astropub? Unfortunately, Paul literally just let me know a few hours ago that he is like dead in bed with 100-degree fever. He's not going to be doing the Astropub today. It's actually why he wasn't on the relay station today. So thank you, Triangularity, for coming in on like no notice and filling in. There will be no Astropub today, which is actually really unfortunate because it means that today is not really a Podsat Saturday, which means I couldn't use the excellent thing that Ghost made for me that you'll see next week when I can do it. It does, however, not cancel the fact that I will be on Not So Sober Saturday with GHG later today. Well, basically later tomorrow in my time.
Oh, GHG, we love him too.
Yeah.
Because we love him.
We do love GHG. But you can come watch me drink heavily there and probably rant about onions or something.
We did miss talking about something, so
What?
I'm going to talk about it very briefly.
Go.
Onions?
CIG's response to Crytek's response.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe we... No, it's not CIG's... It's CIG's response to Crytek's response to CIG's response to Crytek's
The latest response.
tears.
So Ortwin was rather aggressive in this particular document. He refers to Crytek as a sinking ship. Talks about phantom allegations, rambling by their opposition, absurd interpretations of the law, ever-shifting claims, palpably improper under black letter of the palpably improper remedies under the black letter of the law, unmanageable, incoherent mess of a lawsuit unworthy of proceeding. Yeah,
I love the fact
very
that
aggressive.
he says this, and it's got all actual legal precedents and cases and so many things backing it up that the Crytek letter didn't have. That I was like, wow, okay. I don't want to be on the receiving end of one of those letters.
But yeah, anyway, that was what happened.
You better keep your NDA, mate.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, everyone thinks the Germans are all fun and games until you piss one of them off.
Yeah. That was pretty aggressive. I quite enjoyed it.
Okay, we're done.
He's still going for the dismissal. Oh.
Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for hanging out. We will see you all in the verse, and if we won't see you in the verse, then we're going to get very drunk and probably see you in person at CitizenCon. So, hey, have a good weekend, everyone.
Bye, everybody.